Hello students, let us choose some more programs on single for loop. Now the question we are going to solve now is write a program to print first 50 numbers of Fibonacci series. Now what's a Fibonacci series? You can see 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8. Then we have the next number 13 and it goes on to the next value 21, the next value 34 and then 55. Now, as you can see, the logic of Fibonacci series is the sum of the first and the second number forms the third number. Then the second number becomes the first number and the third number becomes the second number to print the next consecutive third number. So over here I have taken four variables. I is the control variable to count the number of Fibonacci series. Like the question says first 50 numbers of Fibonacci series. A is the variable to show the first number, B is the variable to show the second number, and C is the variable to show the third number. Now, initially the value of A is 1 and B is 1. So when and so 1 and 1 is printed. So to print the third variable, my for loop will generate the third variable and then it will assign the second variable to the first variable and the third variable to the second variable. So now you can see when I will become 1 as per our logic, first it will print C equals to A plus B. So it will be added up to 2. 2 will be printed. Next the logic says that A will take the value of the second variable, that is B's value. So again it will become 1 and B will take the value of C. So it will become 2. So then when I will increase to 2, C will become A plus B generating 3. 3 will be printed. After that A will take the value 2, B will take the value 3. As we have discussed, it will take the variable, first variable takes the value of second variable and second takes the variable of third. So when I increases to 3, C will add up to become 5. So then printed 5. After that A becomes 3, B becomes 5. So again for when I becomes 4, then C adds up to become 8. Then 8 is printed. Then A becomes 5, B becomes 8. After that when I becomes 4, I becomes increases to 5, C adds up to 13. 13 is printed. A takes the value 8, B takes the value 13. And then when I becomes 6, B becomes 21 as it is a sum of 8 plus 13. 21 is printed. After that 13 and over here this B becomes 21. So it goes on in this way. So I think you can understand the logic. C equals to A plus B is the third variable is the sum of the first and the second number. Third variable is printed. Then first variable takes the value of the second variable and second variable takes the value of the third variable and the process is repeated for 48 times. Now why I'm writing over here 48? Because the first two values I have printed. A equals to 1 and B equals to 1. So since two values have been printed, more 48 value need to be printed to generate first 50 Fibonacci series. So I compile it. Now when I run the program, now 58 it will become a longer one. To show you in a shorter way that it is generating, I will generate the first 10 values. So now as two values have been printed, I will take 8 more values. So I'll compile it. Now you can see in my terminal window the 10 values have been the first 10 values have been printed. In the similar way for 58, for 50 values you need to make it 48 as two values have already been printed. Let us go for the next question. Now the next question that we will do is write a program to calculate and check and print the factors of a number. Now what are factors of a number? Let us take the number to be 12. So you can see For 2, the factors are 12. The factors are 2. In fact, it starts with 1, then it's 2, then we have 3, then we have 4, then we have 6, then we have 12. So the factors of 12 are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. So how to get the factors of a number? I will take all the numbers between 1 to that number. So 1 to that number, all the numbers will be taken. You can see here in for loop I'm taking, first I accept from the user that what is that number that you want to check. What is that number that you want to check the factors of which number. So in n that number is accepted. I've taken a counter to count the number of factors also. So you can we can change this question, write a program to calculate and check and print the factors. So we are not only checking the factors, but we are also counting the number of factors in the question. So I have taken, first I have accepted int n. I have accepted that the number and I have stored it in the variable n. Then in for loop, I have taken a counter to count the number of factors we have. Then I have taken control variable I to have all the numbers between 1 to n, and then I'm checking the divisibility. If it is divisible by that number, then it's a factor and the counter will increase by 1. So in case of 12, what happens? I first will become 1. So the checking will be, is 12 completely divisible by I? You know the divisibility check we have is modulus. So if 12 mod I equals to 0, so the value 1 is printed, you can see, as well as the counter will increase by 1 value. Next we have I equals to 2. So 12 is completely divisible by, divisibility checking is modulus, is completely divisible by 2. So 2 value will be printed and the counter increases to 2. After that, I increases to 3, control variable. 12 is also completely divisible by 3. So 3 value will be printed and then we have C increases to 3. Similar way, 4 is also completely divisible by 12. 12 is completely divisible by 4. So the value 4 is printed and the counter increases to 4. Now you can see n mod I. N value we have over here. The value of n is 12. That is why n mod I. Now next, the control variable I increases to 5. But 5 is not divisible by 12. So 5 will neither be printed and it will not also increase the counter. But I equals to 6. Again, 12 is completely divisible by 6. So for that reason, again the value 6 will be printed and the counter will increase to 5. I equals to 7. Same case, it is not divisible. So neither it will be printed and nor the counter will increase in the case of 7. Same thing, it goes on for 8 also. 12 is not divisible by 8. So here also we see that the counter will neither increase, neither the value is printed. Same it happens for 9, nothing will happen. For 10 also, nothing will happen because it's not dividing 12 completely. For 11 also doesn't happen. But again for I equals to 12, you can see 12 is completely divisible by 12. So the value 12 is printed and the counter increases to 6. So the number of factors 12 has is 6. So you can see when I compile this program now, I enter the number 12 over here. You can see the factors 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 and 12 is printed, and the number of factors equals to 6 is printed. So you can see the program once again. I accept a number from the user, taken a counter to count the number of factor it has. Then between 1 to that number I take all the values, divide it. Wherever it is dividing, the factor will be printed, counter will increase. Finally, after all the numbers are checked, number of factor is printed. So this is the question for checking and printing the number of factors of a number. Now prime factor, how to check for the prime number? The next question is to check for the prime number. Now already you can see, now factors we have checked. In prime number question, the logic of prime number is that a number is divisible by 1 and the number itself. That means it has only two factors. Now 12 is not a prime number. Why? Because 12 has 6 factors. It cannot be a prime number. So you need to check same way like you check for the factors from 1 to n. I have taken a counter also. Now every time it is dividing, but over here after the checking has been done for the factors, if the factor has increased to 2, then that number is a prime number, else it is not a prime number. Let us just change the question to 13. In case of 13, you will see 13 has only two factors, that is 1 and the number itself 13. So you can see that in case of 13, 13 is completely divisible by 1. So C will increase to 1. But after that, there will be no longer any more possible division. So the counter will not increase anymore. You can see it goes on. It happens for all the numbers. Nowhere the divisibility happens. So it goes on for all the numbers. So finally at the last number 13, you will see that the counter will increase to 2. When I equals to 13, then only 13 will be the divisibility happens, so the counter will increase to 2 over here only. So in this case C is equals to 2, so finally it will print that it's a prime number. But for other numbers, the counter, like for 12, the counter will increase for 6 times, it will not be equals to 2, so it is not a prime number. Same just like the factor question, the prime number question is there. You accept a number from the user, check for the factors. How do you check? Take all the numbers between 1 and that number itself. Every time it's a factor, increase the counter. If it has only two factors, that is 1 and the number itself, then it's a prime number, else it is not a prime number. Let's run a program and check. I enter 43, it's a prime number. Again we run the program. 44, not a prime number. So factor and prime number both are almost similar. In prime number, the counter for the number of factors should increase to 2 only, then it's a prime number, else it's not a prime number. The next program that we will solve is to check for HCF and LCM of two numbers. Now we accept two numbers from the user, then we have to check for the HCF and LCM. Now the LCM formula, you know, highest common factor is that the highest factor that is common for both the numbers that will be stored in itself, and LCM is the product of both the numbers when divided by HCF will give the LCM. Now how this is going to work? Let us say I'll take three variables like we have taken over here. I'll take I, N1 and N2. Now out of both the numbers, you can take the control variable from 1 till that number. Suppose I accept in N1 the value 12, and let's say for N2 I take the value to be, otherwise we'll take a little bit easier number to see, like 9 and 39. So in that case, you can see over here, first we have 1. I will let I go from 1 till n1, and it will go from 1 till 9. So over here for 1, we have this column for HCF. Now 1 will completely divide 9 and 39, so HCF becomes 1. 2 will not divide 9 and 39, so HCF will not increase. Then we have 3, which completely divides 9 and 39. 3 into 3 equals to 9, and 3 into 13. So HCF increases to 3. After that, it will go on for 4. It will not divide completely. 5 will not also divide. 6 will also not is not a factor. 7 is also not a factor. 8 is also not a factor. 9 is a factor of 9 but not of 39. And our checking says and means both the conditions should be true. So here the HCF will not increase because 9 is not dividing 39. So the last value stored in HCF is 3. So LCM, so HCF, the last value 3 will be printed as the HCF. LCM we will have when we multiply 9 into 39, we get 351. The product of 9 and 39, the highest common factor we have is 3. So when 3 will divide 351, we will get 127. So the LCM is 127 and the HCF we have is 3. So it is printed. So what is the logic of HCF and LCM? You accept two numbers from the user, take two count variables, one for HCF, one for LCM. Take the numbers, all the numbers, natural numbers from 1 till any of the number. I have taken over here n1, you can also choose n2. The checking will be if the factor or if that number is dividing both n1 and n2, then it will be saved in HCF. As we are going in ascending order, so it starts from 1 and it goes till the largest number. So the last value that will be stored in HCF, that will be the HCF. LCM equals to the product of the two numbers divided by HCF. We will compile the program. We will run to see our output. I have taken the first number to be 9, second number to be 39. You can see HCF is 3 and LCM is 117. Okay, when you divide 351, it is 117. Now the next question that we'll do is Armstrong number. Now what is an Armstrong number? An Armstrong number, for example, is 153. So 153, the logic of Armstrong number is the cube of the digits of the sum of the cube of the digits of the number is the number itself. I'll write over here the definition, sum of the. Now you can see the Armstrong number is a number that is equal to the sum of the cube of its digits. For example, 153, 370, 371 and 407. That means 153 equals to 1 cube. Now we can see over here, you can see 1 cube plus 5 cube plus 3 cube. So the cube of 1 is 1, the cube of 5 is 125 and the cube of 3 is 27. So when you add it up, it gives you 153. So we are checking now, you can see basically Armstrong number is between 100 to 1000. It's a triple digit number. So I have taken the range from 100 to 999 and it increased by one variable. Now you must be knowing extraction of digit. This is the extraction of digit of the first digit, extracting of the first digit. Then this is the logic to extract the second digit. and the last one LD is for the last digit, as the variable name also suggests. So you can see, then I am using the power function. I am finding the cube of first digit, middle digit and the last digit, and if the sum of all these cube of these three digits is equals to the number itself, then it will be printed. And I'm also counting the number of Armstrong number between 100 to 999. Those of you are not so sure about extracting the digits, I'll just work out for you. Suppose I equals to 153. Let's assume I to be 153. In that case, the first digit equals to 153 divided by 100. So it will give you the quotient, that will be 1. So 1 has been extracted. Middle digit equals to 153 modulus 10, that is the remainder of modulus 100, that is the remainder. It will give 53 again divided by 10. So the quotient now will be 5. So you can see 5 has been extracted, and the last digit is 153 modulus 10. So it will give you the remainder 3. So the middle digit is 1, first digit is 1, middle digit is 5, and the last digit is 3. Then in the if statement, I am using the power function and adding the cube of all the three digits. If it is equal to the number itself, then the number is being printed, and I'm also counting at the same time how many Armstrong numbers are there between 100 to 999. So I compile it. Now you can see, I'll run this program. You can see 153, 370, 371 and 407. So the number of Armstrong number between 100 to 999 is 4. So these were few programs on single for loop. So in the upcoming videos we'll do more programs. Thank you, and you can find all these programs in the description box below.